Welcome back, YouTube community. I'm TJ. Welcome back to TJ's Modeling Bench. I thought I'd take a few minutes today to show you around my workshop and show you the few models that I have built and finished over the last 6 months, most of them. But there's a few of them that go back a few years. Some that were started several years ago and never finished until more recently. But anyway, let's take a few minutes. I'll show you around. All right, this is my hobby room. It's a two-story house, 3 bedrooms. The master bedroom is on the bottom floor, and this is the smallest of the 2 upstairs bedrooms, so I converted it into my workshop when I first moved in. But my intention at that time, because I was more into radio control airplanes, was to set this up for building radio control airplanes, and I have a lot of that stuff still in here. So I've spent more time recently kind of reorganizing and setting it up better for plastic modeling. The little alcove here, originally I was doing my airbrush work over here, and then a couple months ago I finally bought myself a spray booth, and it was just a little too cramped in this corner of the room, so I've moved it, obviously. But I still keep this area for doing, small detail work. If I need to brush paint something, I can sit down there and do it relatively comfortably. There's my paint racks. I need to get one more of those. Put it right in that space there, I think. And then some other miscellaneous stuff. And then my workbench. Now I built this bench, like I said, specifically for doing RC airplane building. So it's attached to the wall. The legs are angled back so that I wouldn't, hit something if I was standing there working, wouldn't be kicking the legs. And yet I could still store things underneath it, which right now is a bunch of junk, really. The top, this is stainless steel magnetic, because I used those jigs on the wall over there, magnetic jigs, for building the aircraft when I was doing that. So this section of it now is where I do most of the construction work on the plastic models. Nice big self-healing mat there. All of my tools readily accessible. I bought these trays and things at a local office supply store. Seemed to work pretty good, a little cheaper than some of the purpose-made things you can find online. More storage and parts containers. That's kind of an ongoing yet future build, part of the group challenge build. I haven't really done much to it other than clean it, and I've separated all the parts from their sprues into those containers there. The F4 Wildcat underneath it, that's actually going to get started here real soon as well. And then these are the models that I have completed to this point. The UH-1 Huey N model is painted to resemble the unit I was with in the Air Force at Langley, Virginia back in '95. I was training to be a helicopter flight engineer. I never did get qualified, long story. Anyway, that's painted to look like that. I wasn't able to find decals, whatever you want to say, to match the unit markings, so it's a little plain there on the side doors. In fact, the U.S. Air Force marking is missing, but yeah, it's painted right. And then the F-106, that's the 5th Fighter Interceptor Squadron. That aircraft is modeled after one that was on static display at Minot Air Force Base, where I was stationed in North Dakota from late '89 to early '93. Those aircraft were long gone by the time I was there. I was a B-52 mechanic up there. But that was on static display, and I was able to find that decal set. And then, so actually, and let's see, the helicopter, that got started probably back in 2013, 2014 maybe. And then finished a couple years later. The F-106 got started probably 2014-ish. And then I only completed that one actually a year and a half ago maybe. The Grumman TBM, that kit started as one of the Lost Squadron 19. But I liked this color scheme better, and I found decals for it online. And then the A4 Skyhawk, that one was just completed here recently. Didn't turn out too bad. It's Naval Air Test Center, Marine Corps. And then the cars. All right, so this was my first return to automobiles since I was a junior in high school, probably 88-ish. I don't even have that car anymore, but I hadn't built a model car since then. And then I built this last year. It started out really well, but then there's some glaring fit issues, and I scratched the paint on it. It's got a 3D printed blown engine, but the hood doesn't fit over it. Well, I guess it kind of does. Kind of. That's about as good as it gets. Anyway, you know, there's things I would have done differently if I built this again, because it's weird the way they molded this with the quarter panels. The front quarter panels are separate pieces. So you've got this huge line in there. If I were to do this again, I would attach those in the very beginning and fill that gap a little better. But overall, I mean, it was a learning experience getting back into some model building again after having not really done it for many years. And then this one, the Dodge Challenger, this is one of those curbside kits. My roommate, she's in the market for a new car, and purple is one of her favorite colors. So I kind of did this for her, even though she's probably not going to get a Dodge Challenger. She might, but and this purple color is not available on the real things unless you wanted to get painted specifically. Anyway, it turned out not too bad. I mean, for what it is, like I said, it's a curbside model, so there's no engine in it. And then this is my most recent build. This is the 41 Plymouth that's originally box art for Coca-Cola. But I weathered it, aged it some. I think it turned out pretty good. This was really my first time trying to weather like this. I don't know if it shows up on the video right now or not, but you can kind of see on the windshield where the windshield wipers have cleaned away some of the dust and dirt. So, yeah. Not too bad. I did a little work inside the engine compartment, and I actually had battery cables, but I couldn't get them to stay on, so that's missing. And the lower radiator hose, the engineering on this kit, I don't think it would have fit, period. I couldn't get it to go in, so I just left it off, like a lot of people do, I hear. Anyway, so that's where I'm at now. Like I said, the 67 Pontiac is going to be an on and off build here over the next few months. The F4 Wildcat is definitely going to be worked on. I'm trying to get that one ready for the Phantom Flashers contest show in Birmingham in early April. And then earlier today I was in Hobby Lobby. And this is my small stash, but growing. And I picked up the 85 Camaro today. So I had an 83 when I was in the Air Force. It was it was pretty ragged out. I think I was the 7th owner to have that car, and I ended up the engine ended up seizing on me, And I did replace the engine, but I didn't keep the car much longer after that. And then in this brown box here, I bought that back in 2006 maybe. That is a Hasegawa 148 scale F4E Phantom 2. And there's also some aftermarket resin parts in that box and a decal sheet for the, I think it's the 142nd or 144th Fighter Interceptor Squadron Air National Guard at Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I grew up. I live in Mobile, Alabama now, but that was my original home, and I remember those aircraft. And when I saw that decal sheet, I had to have it. But when I bought that, I didn't feel that my skills were quite ready to put that thing together. I think I'm closer now, so maybe toward the end of this year, that one will get put on the bench and built. Anyway, that's a short little tour of my shop and then my current airbrushing station. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Talk to y'all later. Peace out.